Hi guys. Today we're going to be dealing with the cosine rule. The cosine rule is a formula that allows you to find unknown angles and side lengths of non-right angled triangles. So it's very similar to the sine rule. Sine rule pretty much does exactly the same thing, but the cosine rule is a completely different set of formulas. So as you can see here, you've got a whole heap of A's, B's and C's in both formulas. You'll notice that in the formula there's only one pair, this capital A and the little a. So it's really important to remember that the A and the capital A and the little a are your pair. And remember that the capital A here is your angle, and these little lowercase letters are your side lengths. Do not forget that. So this is the formula you use when you're finding a side length, and this is the formula you use when you're finding an angle. Simple as that. So don't forget that. You've got to distinguish which formula to use. Okay, so a few rules to remember. The concept of pairs still applies to the cosine rule. So the idea of capital A and little a being a pair, very relevant. And remember, guys, like I said just before, capital A is your angle, little a is your side. You need at least 3 pieces of information to do the cosine rule. Same idea as the sine rule. Both need 3 pieces of information. You use the cosine rule when you are not given 2 pairs. So if you don't have your 2 pairs, you have to use the cosine rule. If you do have 2 pairs, that's when you use the sine rule. So these are some situations which you use the cosine rule for. Notice you've got a full pair here, so that's 1 pair, but you don't have any of the other pairs. So you do have this one, but you don't have its pair. You do have this one, but you don't have its pair. You've only got... So the idea I'm trying to get through to you is that you've only got 1 pair, so that's where you use the cosine rule. Over here, same thing. You've got 1 pair, but that's it. You don't have another pair, so you have to use cosine rule. So 1 pair means cosine rule. It's really important you link those 2 ideas together. Okay, so let's give this example a try. So we've got a pair here, and you don't have any other full pairs. So we think to ourselves straight away, we use the cosine rule. So let's give that a try. So first up, we've got our pair here. So we start with the formula. When we're finding a side length, we deal with this formula right here. So we write that down first. There's our pair. As you can see here, here's our pair. Now, our little a is a side length, so that's going to be our x, because that's the side length in our pair. And our capital A is going to be our 32 degrees. You'll notice that the B and C are going to be the other 2 sides that you've got. So your 4.5 and your 7. So when you put that in, it should look something just like this. So it's really important that you can get that formula out correctly. Okay, so... when you shove all that stuff into your formula like that, don't worry about simplifying it because it just kind of uses up extra time. You want to focus on getting this x by itself. It's all about figuring out what x is. So x is with this squared. What's the opposite of squared? Well, square root. We have to square root both sides. So when we square root all this stuff, it looks like this. And you shove all that into a calculator and it comes out as that. And to the nearest hole is 4 meters. The 9 rounds up, obviously. Okay, let's try the next one. We've got to find this acute angle here. You'll notice that it's definitely an acute angle, so it needs to be less than 90 degrees. You need to make sure that's the case. We've got our 1 pair, and there's no other pairs, so we use the cosine rule. When you're finding an angle, you use this formula. And we've got our pair here, our A and our A. I'll just get rid of that. Whoop. No, I won't do that. Okay, so we've got our pair here. So this is what these 2 things have got to change to, our little a and our capital A. Capital A is the angle, which is our theta. and we have to be taking away the a. So it's really important that that you're taking away this 6 meters because it's opposite this angle you're trying to find. It's the pair with that angle. So we're taking away the 6, super important, and the 7 and the 5, they're the ones that are plussing together and the ones that are timesing down the bottom as well. So really important you get this that order of these numbers correct. Okay, so now we look at this and we think to ourselves, get the theta by itself. Well, the theta is with cos. The opposite of cos is cos minus 1, so we do that to both sides. We will see our cos and our cos minus 1 cancel, leaving us with theta. And we apply the cos minus 1 to all this. So it looks like something like that. That goes straight into your calculator. You get this, and that's 57 degrees to the nearest whole, and that is definitely an acute angle. So that suggests that that is our correct answer. So they're the nice basic sort of cosine rule questions. Good luck with the work.